Hello, beautiful ones. Hey, namaste. It's Coach Viv. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Bliss Babes.
Hello,
Hi, Wise
beautiful
Women.
ones. Hey,
Oh,
namaste.
boy. Hold
It's
on here. I had my YouTube open as well, which is not good. Though I like to see the comments right as they come in. Welcome. Say hello. Say where you're from. Get a cup of tea. My cup of tea is almost empty. Hope I don't get a dry throat. So it is a little later than usual. I had to get a little makeup on, people. So, and then I was talking to my friend and I was like, I gotta go. I'm supposed to be live on YouTube. It's scheduled. So, how are you all doing? Welcome. I see some folks popping in. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here and give me 20 seconds because it takes 20 seconds for it to pop over. I'm using StreamYard. You can see that in the upper right corner, the weird duck. It just allows me to put stuff on screen and I can put your comments on the screen and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Let me see. Should I lift you guys up a little higher? Okay, no. All right. Because I don't have another. You're sitting on a pile of books, just so you know. Okay, I'm going to say hi. Who's here? Cosmic Goddess, welcome. Thank you, thank you. Can we say Grand Rising even though it's like almost 6 o'clock? Well, my time. I don't know. Beautiful. I think that is, like a Thai Buddha inspired. They have different styles. That's nice. Really, really nice. Hi, Sana Heart. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Where are you from? Did you see also the title of the video today? So, not different. I have done other videos about work-life imbalance. Okay. And I apologize. I have my air on. And so you hear this like little hum. Like if I turned it off, you would notice. You'd be like, oh, it suddenly got quiet. So I'm happy to be here. And this is going to be a shorter live stream. I did want to make it interactive, of course. Okay, so say hi to each other in the comments. And then I'm going to be talking about burnout. So if you're just joining us, hi, the numbers are going up. And I apologize. I did not schedule this in advance like I should have. Okay, so that is my fault. I couldn't figure out what time I was going to go live and if I was going to do my usual Sunday Ask Viv. So let's see who else is here. Hi, Robbie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Pleasure to see you here. And let's see who else is here from New Jersey. Yep, from Jersey. V's Faves. Hi, V. It's funny because I could be V too, Vivine. And my middle name starts with a V as well. So let's see. The title caught your attention. Yes. This is what I will be talking about. Are you about... I started to take notes. Like I said, then my friend called. Actually, I called him because he called me. But anyway, give a few minutes, get some water. I'm going to keep saying the title because folks come on, okay? If you're live, very excited to have you here live, okay? And if you're in the replay, say hi in the comments. In the replay, you'll only be able to do the comments. If you're live, you can do in the live chat. Yes. So the title, what do you guys think of the title? What is my exact title? Like I said, I'm going to talk about, are you about to burn out? Are you about to burn out? Is it time to quit? What do you guys think of the Great Resignation that's happening, right? Everybody's talking about it. What do you think about it? This Great Resignation that is happening in the U.S. Now, I have viewers. Not everybody's from the U.S. I have viewers in England, of course, mostly U.S., England, South Africa. Though I'm thinking of my podcast. I have a podcast too. In England. Did I say England? So, hi, Lydia. Welcome, Lydia. Welcome, Tiffany. Welcome, welcome. Robbie's here. V's here. Who else? Say hi in the comments. Raylyn. Hi, Raylyn. Nice to see you. I love it. Leave that shop. Good. Okay, that has to be put up. Hi, Lydia. Let's see. I popped you up, but I hadn't even seen who I had popped up their comment. Yes. Okay, so You guys know I can speak from my heart, but I had just made really brief notes. And because I got to talking to the friend, I did not get to write out my notes. But I know this stuff, okay? I know about burnout. And like many YouTubers, I have to share my story because you guys, so the channel has hit like 22,000. So there's always new people joining all the time, joining my channel, joining Yoga Bliss Dance. And they don't, they may have watched a chakra video. Um, they may have watched a meditation video, root chakra, sacral chakra. So I'm going to talk about my burnout. I'm going to talk about that. All right, Monica. So let's welcome some more folks. Hi, Monica. Welcome from Hungary. Oh my God, that is fantastic. Monica, are you near? Hungary is near Georgia. Is it? Let me know in the chat. A lot of expats are actually visiting the country of Georgia. Glad to see toxic hustle culture starting to subside. Yes. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Welcome. The friend, we were just talking, like he said he thinks this is a turning point for America, like people kind of realizing their work, they really don't like it. They don't love it. They don't like it. So he and I were talking about the great resignation. Let me put your comment up, Ashley. Let's see here. Whoops, I missed when I clicked Tiffany. But you guys, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I mean, obviously, we want to be able to go to a restaurant and have enough wait staff. We want to have the chef, right? The manager and the assistant manager needs to be there. So Hungary is Middle Europe next to Austria. Okay, so it's not, okay. Oh, wait, Hungary is Middle Europe next to Austria. Okay, and Georgia is more to the east. Monica, you have to know, many Americans, we're not good at geography. We don't learn it very much in school, but you are completely welcome. I'm happy you're here. So, Oh, wait, Hungary is Middle Europe next to Austria. Hungary is Central Europe next to Austria. What? Monica, is it middle? Yeah, Central. Yes, we say Central Europe. Do we say Central Europe? We don't say Middle Europe. Anyway, let's start with our first thing about burnout that I wanted to share, because we're going to get a lot of women who are going to watch this in the replay. And if they're not here live, they don't see the chat and they're just like, so I'm going to dive right in. And I'm very happy, those of you who are here live. How do you know if you're about to burn out? I say this about to burn out because I don't want to, if you're already burnt out, you already know it. Does that make sense? If you are burnt out, you're aware you're burnt out. So this is for women who are about to burn out to help you avoid it. So one of the first ways to know is that your life starts to narrow to only work, okay? Your life starts to narrow to only be about work. That is one of the first signs that you are burning out and that maybe it's time. Oh, guys, keep saying hi in the chat to each other. Introduce yourself. That's a way to know that you're nearing burnout. So again, what do I mean by life narrows? Does anybody have that? Like life narrows was how I just put it. I'll post it myself, like life narrows. What do I mean by that? Have any of you, I want to make it interactive. So yes, have any of you been close to burnout who are watching this right now? Welcome. Hi, Bliss Babes. Hi, Wise Women who are just joining. Have any one of you burnt out? Do share in the chat. What I mean by life narrows, goddesses, is that you find that when you talk to your friends, you only talk about work. You talk about work a lot. You complain a lot about work. What the boss did, what your coworker did, the one you have the chronic problem with, the one who tries to bully you, and the boss's boss. And that is what you talk about. Your conversation gets limited. And that's why I say life narrows. Your conversation when you're about to burn out gets limited to your work, okay, to primarily your work. Have any of you, let me know in the comments, yes or no, have any of you experienced that? Or whether Monica or Tiffany, Ashley, do you have a friend? Could be a friend. It doesn't have to be you. Do you have a friend who has burnt out? Let me know. Welcome to those just joining us. The theme is, are you about to burn out? And is it time to quit your job? Is it time to quit your job? Are you about to burn out? Okay. Let me see. And I'm not seeing my comments feel like they've frozen. Hang on, guys. Yeah. So have any of you watching burnt out or been near burnout, or have you had a friend or family member? Have you had a friend or family member who has burnt out? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. So life narrows. You only talk about work to friends, your partner. You come home and that's your focus. You're still complaining about work. You're complaining about how you were treated. You're complaining about different how you were overlooked in a meeting, how you were, in my case, not even told there was a meeting. There was a meeting and you were deliberately left out of the meeting. Okay. And let me check real quick on YouTube because I think my comments are not coming through, goddesses. Can you just say yes or no if you've experienced that? Because I feel like YouTube might have frozen. Hang on. Let me check. And then you're going to hear feedback as I pull myself up. So I apologize for that. So hang on. Let me check. All right. Let's see, because some of the comments I can see. Yes. Okay. I can see Tiffany's comment when I go over to YouTube. Let me come back to StreamYard and let me see. Okay. Yes. So Tiffany says, I went through this phase last year and quit my toxic job in September. Yes. And thank you for sharing that, Tiffany. I am gonna talk about that as well. I do think, of course, I don't want to tell anybody quit your job. You have to know your situation, but I'm going to talk about ways to know that it might be time and it's your decision, right? A lot of these YouTubers, you guys, they're like, quit your job, blah, 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 or I quit my $200,000 job. I quit my, $125,000 job. And they talk about it. So I can talk about what I did, but I would never tell someone, maybe you have 10 children and you're supporting a village in Ghana or something, or you have family in South America that depends on your paycheck. I'm not going to tell you specifically what to do because I feel, that ultimately is your decision. But Tiffany shares that she quit in 2020. Yeah. So your life begins to narrow is the first sign that you are nearing burnout. Okay. Another way, that goes under that category is you stop doing pleasurable things. Friends may ask you to hang out. You may get invitations to parties and you stop doing it because you're so focused on your work. Oh no, I have a report to finish. I have to write up this project. I have to do some research. So your life, instead of being like wide and having fun and pleasure in it, it starts to just get like this, where it's just about work. And that's all you think about. That is the number one sign. And then I'm going to go to the second sign in a moment. I want to put up some more comments. Yeah. Hi, V. I think that, of course, there is going to be a little, even more than a little amount among Black women and women of color, more so. And for those of you watching from other parts of the world who this may not fit, just there's a little bit more pressure. There are different factors, economic factors, in the US that tends to weigh heavier on people, African American, more so. Okay, so I'm not excluding anybody. Like you could be from Hungary and have burnout. You could be from France and have burnout, England, of course. But in the US, there's a lot of pressure, oftentimes even more so on Black women. The jobs tend to pay less, but this is just, real statistics. So if your job pays less, often you may have two jobs. There's just a lot of different things going on. So yes, I hear you. I plan my way out. Good, Tiffany. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave that comment up, Tiffany, because that is one approach. Okay. I did not take that approach when I left my job. That was not my approach. Okay. What is the second way to know that you may be nearing burnout? What is the second way? The second thing that tends to happen is health issues begin to pop up. Okay? Health issues, health concerns, like what? High blood pressure. When I was teaching in academia, I suddenly had high cholesterol, you guys. Now, my diet was fairly healthy, but I was under a tremendous amount of stress. And when the doctor told me my cholesterol was high, I was like, excuse me, my cholesterol? Um, Now, I do have some family, like one side of the family did have like issues with that, but it had suddenly spiked, you guys. Like it was normal, normal, normal. And then very stressful job, right? And then suddenly the doctor's like, whew. And that was a warning sign for me. Let me know your warning signs. If you have suffered from burnout, let me know your warning signs in the comments. So your health issues start to pop up. High blood pressure, high cholesterol. It can be any part of the body. You just start having different symptoms. And yes, of course, there's physical causes, but stress underlies our whole biochemistry. Our hormonal system as women is very sensitive. And when you add in stress to the mix, you have more cortisol. Our body will not tend, our immune system will tend to go down, right? These are just things you would know. You don't have to go to medical school to know this if you have sort of common sense and also even any holistic systems, right? Again, give me a yes in the comments if you've experienced this. It could, for some people, it becomes full-fledged cancer. It could be a disorder I had a friend when I was teaching at the university that was toxic at my toxic job. And she had, oh gosh, what is that? It's like it's an autoimmune disorder, not Crohn's. You sometimes get these spots, I'm told. Oh gosh, it has something to do with wolf too. Like the name of it in Latin is like wolf. Oh, somebody help me out. What is that illness? It's many Black women get it at a higher percentage. It is, it's not Crohn's, but I think it starts with a C. And it is an autoimmune disorder and, very much tied to stress. So the second sign that you're nearing burnout can be that your life starts to narrow, as I discussed before, but health issues begin to pop up out of nowhere, even if you're sort of living a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to put up some of the comments. Let's see. Sleep issues. Yes. Thank you, V. Actually, V, you messed up that's my third what I was going to share. Yes, sleep. All right, so I'm going to put somebody else up because you already got to my third one. Yeah. Problems around the stomach and heart. Yes, Monica, very much. Again, our stomach in the holistic systems, you guys know I've studied, I'm a licensed massage therapist and a certified yoga teacher and teach meditation. Been studying all of that, the meditation and the yoga for 20 something years. Okay, for those of you who are new, and the massage therapy for about 12 years. I forget exactly when I got the license, but I was studying before that. So yes, our stomach is linked very much as the center of the body. And so it's very prone to issues related to stress. So yes, stomach issues, of course, heart issues. I mean, you can literally start having chest pain that may or may not be like a heart disorder, but from stress, of course, right? You can start having heart palpitations, chest pains. Of course, see your doctor. But what I'm saying is that underlying stress from the toxic job, the job where you might be being bullied, the job where you are treated disrespectfully, the job where you're really not living your dreams and your gifts, that will exacerbate any even if it is heredity, like your mom was prone to this and now you have this, or your grandma had it, your mom didn't have it and now you have it. We all have a breaking point. Okay. Lupus. Yes. Thank you. Right. Because lupine, something with the word lupine. And I think there's some spots that you can get. My dear friend was a college professor with me, and she's like, don't leave the job, don't give up, don't give up. And she was suffering from lupus. And I said to myself, I'm like, wait, I should stay at this job that I'm deeply unhappy at, and you're suffering in your other department. She was, you guys, Goddesses, she was in a whole other department than me. So it wasn't like we were both in it together, or it was this one toxic department. It was not. She was in a completely separate area where she taught, and she had lupus. And I know, and she was under stress. It wasn't like, oh, she had lupus and she was fine. She was under tremendous amount of pressure and stress in her department as well. So much to say, my second one is your health issues start to pop up. Let's just see what some other things you're sharing. Yes. So yeah, lupus, yes, lupus. I really also believe autoimmune disorders are very much like literally, so your body is turning against itself. Right? Think about that. The body, now I know, oh, the biochemistry, well, it's this, it's that, but why would your body, what is the underlying basis of your body sort of turning against itself, right? Let me put this, carb addiction. Oh, I'm still addicted to carbs, Tiffany, especially chocolate. And I just bought this beautiful loaf. Where I live, there's a lot of like bread companies, small bread companies. This fresh, sometimes you can even get the bread. The bread is like soft, like they baked it that morning, okay? So I just bought this beautiful loaf of, I wouldn't quite call it a French bread because it's not super crusty on the outside. It was so good, you guys. It was so delicious. Just had a little piece of it because it's long, it's like this long ass thing of bread. So yes, lupus. I fast 18 to 20 hours. So, oh, you eat only within a 4 hour to like 6 hour range. Is that right? What is that called? I forget what that's called. I'll have you share that. Yeah. How do you feel as a result of that in terms of the fasting? I think that's fine, but if somebody's under stress, they're not going to be able to do that. They're not, because it requires a real, such a control over one's intake. But I believe that can actually be healthy. But in terms of how to know if you're burning out, I don't know that going on intermittent fasting, that's it. Changing your diet over to intermittent fasting, I don't know that would help with the stress level, as the first thing to do. So yeah, carb addiction. I want to just put up some other comments. My health took a turn for the worst, which continue to improve. So Goddesses, I do work with women who are suffering from burnout or wanting to avoid it. Okay. That is something that I can help you with in terms of coaching because I went through it myself. This might be a good time to share my story I have thousands of new subscribers. Thank you very much on the channel. So I was a college professor. I was teaching fine art at a community college, and it paid very well, especially for a community college. Like it was higher certainly than the national average. And I was so happy, the first one in my family to the first one in my family to finish college and then to be teaching in college. So it was a very big deal. I ended up being bullied by 3 to 4 men, and so much so that I left. Long story short, they began bullying me. They had previously bullied a woman so much she left the university, she left the college, moved back home with her mom. I only know that through them because they were basically joking about it. They were making fun of her. They were making fun, you guys. Professionals sitting around talking about how they messed up someone's life. Like that was their entertainment. Okay. So I have really been there in terms of toxic work environments. Even an adjunct who has since passed away was bullying me. This old dude, you guys, he came up to me. I was already super stressed, right? Because, you're going to go for tenure. You're just under tremendous amount of stress. You're under scrutiny. And he said to me, when are you going to leave? When are you going to leave? And I literally, I tell the story and I'm like, who would be so rude? And he says, he just stops. He blocks as I'm walking, stops in front of me. And I'm like, when are you going to leave? Well, it's clear you're not happy here, he says. And I'm like, excuse me, but do you mean leave, like leave for the day? And I don't know, I kind of just gave him this, you know, but, and this was an adjunct. So those of you in academia, you know, it's really toxic when an adjunct feels that they can bully you. Now, this was an older male who had been there for decades. So he relatively in the department had a lot of power. So a lot of toxic work environments, let's talk about that, how you know if you're about to burn out. Toxic work environments, they have a bully typically, or there's somebody at the high level. In my case, my boss at the college was a bully. He absolutely was a bully, and he led a pack of bullies. So let me know if you have suffered that, if you, or is there something different going on at your job? Are you overworking? Like, are they just, you know, dropping stacks of work on your desk and just saying, this is what you've got to do? Let me know what your particular stress is. I'd really like to know. Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing that. So you guys just check her comment. A Sims, check the comment. Yes, intermittent fasting. Actually believe in it. I do. I try. My window isn't as like wide as yours. Like I think you said up to 20 hours. No, no, no. I do try though to minimize it just makes sense. And there've been a lot of studies about it. Um, you know, yeah, anyway, but so it helped you. I hear you saying it helped you kind of gain some control by taking control of your food. Yes, that can go too far for some people, of course. But if it worked for you, I think that's fantastic. And as a means to gain control in other ways. So that's really beautiful. I do think it's good for your health. As I said, if you are nearing burnout or about to burn out, I think the main thing you need to do is get the stress out of your life. Okay, that's my first advice. Get the stress out of your life and potentially quit that job. Okay, I want to just give you, though, the third symptom or third sign that you're about to burn out. And I would say that is when your sleep gets messed up. You're not able to sleep deeply. You're waking up at night. Your mind is churning. Okay, I experienced all of that. You may fall asleep, but you don't stay asleep. You wake up with thoughts about what are you going to do tomorrow? What are you going to do with this presentation? How are you going to cope with the stress? What do you say to the boss? What do you say to the coworker? What do you say to the other coworker? Are they ganging up on you? Are they talking about you behind your back? These are signs that burnout is near. You're about to emotionally push yourself over the edge. The situation has, and it is time, very likely, for you to look at how to leave your position. Okay. And I know it's harder. I actually just spoke to a new client, and I was just saying to her, it's hard to quit a job at Walmart. Okay. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not hard to quit a job at Walmart or, Target. It's harder to quit a job, though, where you've invested maybe years in your education to get the job. For example, being a professor, maybe you've been in corporate for a while, you've invested in your accounting career. I think that's harder because it's more of how you see yourself, right? When I worked at little retail jobs, it wasn't part of my identity. But if you then move to a professional career, it becomes like, imagine a lawyer saying, that's it, I'm done. It's like, what? You went to law school, you got accepted to law school, you passed the bar, you make this much money, and you're walking away. So it's just harder, I think, in some jobs to step back. Let me know. So I think 2 ladies so far have said they have left their jobs. One left in 2020. To wrap up my story, so I was diagnosed with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It took me years to heal from that, and it has repercussions in my life. So from my job, the PTSD, anxiety, and depression. So I've suffered from all of those. Anxiety, depression, PTSD, and the PTSD was specifically from my teaching position, okay? So my advice is that it's not worth the money. If you're just cutting in, watch the video from the beginning. I go over the 3 signs that you really are nearing burnout. If you're nearing burnout, The money from the job will not be worth it. Here's why. Eventually, you will have to stop the job. You will either become ill or you'll be fired. You'll either become ill or you'll be fired. And then the money, you'll end up using the money to either heal yourself or to live off of. Okay, I know that sounds harsh, but again, give me a yes in the comments if you know what I'm saying. I tell women this all the time. When you stay in a toxic job for the money, it's never worth it, because you will need that money. You will need that money, and it won't give you back your health, right? You'll have to stop. And I've known people who've permanently damaged themselves from toxic jobs. So yes, absolutely. Let's put up some comments, okay? And I feel like this is so heavy, you guys. I don't, I don't like to do super, super heavy topics. Or I should say to leave you, those of you who are going through this. Let's see, Monica. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Monica. Yeah. I actually think self-esteem is a huge part of burnout and a huge part of staying at a toxic job. So yes, that is a great comment, because when we, and I hate to say it, when we allow ourselves to be bullied, again, I'm not going to blame us, because to me that's a weak third chakra. So Monica, I don't know if you know that I teach a lot about the chakras. The third chakra is the one. Yes. Oh, I had put that comment up. Let me see. The third chakra is the one where we don't have the ego strength to stop the bullying or to leave the bullying. So in my chakra course, that chakra, I really stress for women to work on that, because you won't find yourself in a situation where you have a boss who is just basically a butthole, whether a man or a woman, right? Many of us women, we end up maybe with a female boss who is a complete and utter, nightmare, right? In my case, it was, like I said, 4 men who had worked together for 2 decades. I think the youngest in the group was maybe 15 years in. So you can imagine, here's this, young, I'm single. These are like just these dudes, whole different background. I'm coming from New York City. I think there was just a lot of like really just gender-based hatred that felt like that was the primary. They were really, really down on women. I saw it over and over. Women just pissed them off, you guys. Ladies, have you ever worked in an environment where the men just seem like pissed off? Because I'm like now I'm laughing about it. And when I went into the job, I was like happy, I felt really good, right? So I didn't go in with a bad attitude. And these men just, as I said, they were talking about this other woman, who, and the reason I say it wasn't primarily racially based is I really could tell it was gender based. And the woman before me, you guys, that they ran out of the college was a white female. I never met her, but she's the one where I'm sitting in a meeting with these guys and they're just talking about her like she's a dog, and I say this in public. It's true. It's the absolute truth. I would say it under oath. It's the truth. And I just remember looking at them like, why would you, they were basically kind of bragging amongst themselves, you guys. Welcome if you're just joining. We're talking about toxic jobs and a little bit more than that. But so this woman literally was forced to move back with her mother, and they were making fun of her, even though they were the ones who had basically run her out of the college. And that's what happened to me. I did not end up moving back with my mother. I didn't have to move in with my mom. My mom at the time, she had a drinking problem. And so that would have not been, that would have not been a good situation. I could have if I really needed to. So they then chased me out. So it was primarily a gender-based, really this culture. I'm sorry, but it was like a toxic masculinity culture. I know many people get offended by that, but that's what it was. We hired a new woman for our adjacent department. I don't want to say which one, but it was an art-related department. And these men then began to talk about her. So here we had gone through maybe 80 people Okay, I hope this isn't boring you, but this is how jobs work. I'm sure, let me know if you can relate to this. So I'm on the hiring committee, right? Because we're hiring for our department. We hire this young woman, and within weeks, these men who were also bullying me began talking about how horrible she was. And I'm sitting there, you guys, and I'm sure you can see how this is like so stupid of them. I'm watching them and they're just like, "Oh yeah, she's not that smart. No, 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 no. Did you hear what she said about this?" And I'm looking at them like, "Well, we hired her. Me, you, and you chose this woman. So if she's horrible, like that's just how my mind works. Like clearly then we made a mistake, right? But no, in their minds they just really needed this young woman had moved from really far away, you guys, to take this job, and we were just I was there watching and listening. I was forced to listen to them just talk about her in a really negative way. So anyway, I will share the story. So I know about burnout. Um, I do, like I said, I offer coaching for women who want to leave their job. Okay. It's not career coaching. What I offer is spiritual practices and self-care practices so that you can be strong enough to leave the job, because it can be hard to leave the job. Okay. It was hard for me, and that's a whole other story. I got sucked into the toxicity. As I mentioned, the first thing where your life narrows, I became obsessed with my job. I became obsessed with getting better and pleasing them. And I have to get tenure. I have to do, what am I doing wrong? And what that does, that your self-esteem starts to crumble. You start to feel like you're like the witch, like the Wicked Witch of the West. You're like, start to shrink in your life. And that is what the bullies want. That is what they want. Okay, that is what they want. So I could go on giving you more examples, but as I said, I was talking to a new client about this who is from academia. So I really like to support women, especially who are creatives. I want to mention that. Or coming from academia, because I can really relate to that, and I can really, help you in terms of getting your strength back, basically, right? That is really, really key. So I want to put that up. And if you have any questions, yes, you stayed for the money. Of course, Tiffany, we stay for the money. The thing is, when you stay for the money, there's a great phrase I've always loved. Welcome if you're just joining us. There's a great phrase that says, if you marry for money, you earn it. Don't marry for money because you will earn it. And so it's interesting. I think the same with jobs, which is what we're talking about. We are talking about jobs. And burnout, when is it time to quit? I believe it's time to quit when your health starts to suffer, when your life narrows to the only thing you think about is work, and when your sleep starts to deteriorate. Okay, let me have a little sip of my tea. And I'm going to take questions, any comments. And so, yes, I'm going to be talking more about my work, and I just want to put up where you can find me. I have a program, and it's women from all backgrounds. It's Money Mindset Magic. I didn't want to make it longer, but it's like Money Mindset Magic, a mastermind. And it isn't just about manifesting more money, though. If you quit your job, if you quit your job, right? Welcome if you're just joining. Happy to have you here. Say hi in the comments. If you quit your job, it's money, right? That's the fear. That's the great fear. And that really bothers me. That really upsets me, because then you are trading your life, you're trading your soul, your spirit for money, not for the joy of working, not for the service, the joy of the service you provide, but just for like the cash, the cold hard cash. And that's the only pleasure. And ladies, I have to tell you, for us women, money is not the same as for men. Don't get me started on the divine feminine here. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Oh, I got a little super sticker. Thank you. I accept small change, $5, $10. Thank you. More, whatever. I'm very happy about that. Thank you. For us women, I think for men, money itself can be quite can be more rewarding. Maybe it helps. I don't know. But I think for women, just making a high salary, just making tons of change, and like you can just throw it around and take your friends out and go on vacations. I'm not that type of person where the money alone will make me happy, and I'm sure most of you watching me are not like that. I laugh because I think there are different levels of consciousness, and I am not. I think money is fine. Money's actually great. I am still working on my money mindset because I came from a working class background where money had a negative connotation, because the parents worked so hard. And I'm trying to think, did they like their jobs? Did your parents like their jobs? That's a good sort of tangential question. But for us women, just the money is not enough to make us happy with a job. Okay, that is my opinion. That is what I've seen on a deeper level, on a soul level. Okay. So V, thank you so much for that super sticker. I really appreciate it. And how are you doing now, V? I think you said earlier that you were, yeah, it's like sleep issues and so on. The moment we started having sleep issues, um, our health starts to suffer because when we sleep is when the body um, gets rid of toxins, cleans everything out, breaks down toxins, right, and gets them ready to be eliminated. And so when we don't have deep sleep, we're setting ourselves up, which is why the toxic hustle culture, one of you goddesses mentioned earlier, right? You can hustle, but it'll come back. It'll come back and bite you in the ass. It just really will. You're determining your exit. V, feel free to do, I have you guys, you can do a free call with me. Let me just think for a second. Hold on here. I don't even know my own links. I think it's Viv as me. Yeah. It's real simple. It's Viv as me. I would love to work with you. And I have a free call. It's just a clarity and calm call. And I call it that because you will feel more clear after you speak with me, and you will feel calmer because I always do a meditation. Okay. So I always lead a nice meditation over the phone with you. And everyone I've ever done this with is just like, I feel so good. I feel so much better. So it is a call and where I can hear what's happening for you. I try to, as part of it, give you one or two tips that you can walk away with. And I also tell you about ways to work with me. So, because that is what I do. And like I said, I've been through it. I really have been through it. And you don't want to wait till you're burnt out, goddesses, because when you really, as I said before, when you hit full burnout, you won't be able to work at your full capacity. You may already get sick, and or they may fire you. Very often these toxic jobs, I've known people who work in hospitals, and certainly now nurses. I have two friends who are nurses, probably three in acquaintance, and nurses are suffering. Nurses are in really a lot of pain right now. I can't speak for doctors. I'm pretty sure they're stressed too. But nurses, with the COVID situation, people are quitting, okay? Our nurses are quitting. This is not good. This is whatever side of the political divide you're on it's not good when nurses are so burnt out they can't do their jobs. It's one thing if professors quit, okay? Okay, the English class doesn't get taught. We'll survive, right? The history class, we're going to cancel. But when nurses start quitting, okay, that's when we really have a problem as a nation. And I don't want to get political because it's just not what my channel is about. But all of this is impacting many, many women, believe me, whether you're, as I said, wherever you are in terms of our economic situation, in terms of the pandemic, whatever your beliefs are about it versus what the facts are and so on, a lot of nurses are quitting or they're inching towards burnout. Okay, and that's dangerous for all of us because we don't want our hospitals not staffed. We do not want our hospitals not staffed. Yeah, so yeah, the guys, you can hit me up here, Viv as me, just book a free call and we can talk about it. I am a meditation coach. That's why I'm like, I don't want to start talking about politics. Actually, I tired myself out, to be really honest, talking about my old job. Oh, what I want to tell you guys, and this is going to sound cold, but when everybody's like the great resignation, I'm like, when did I resign? It was 2008. 2008, and nobody gave me any, like, there were no headlines. Viv has quit. It was 2008. Do you know 2008 was the Great Recession, which we're still having impacts from, okay? I I don't know that now I could say it was worse than the economic result of the pandemic. Probably is now has been worse. But when I left my job, I had no other job. I just had some savings from that job, which is why I'm telling you, you'll earn the money, but then you will need that money because you will be so burnt out. I barely could work, you guys. That's how bad it was for me after I left teaching. I barely was able to work. Okay, I probably could have qualified for disability, but being a proud person, and I didn't. I also think I was not aware. It's very possible you can burn out and almost still not know how depleted you are. That's the word I'm going to use. How depleted you are. You should have left in 2008. Well, I'm a risk taker, Tiffany. I'm an artist. And so I'm a creative. And, let me talk about that. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Those of you who want to stick around, I'm going to talk about the traits. Let me talk about the traits that will help you land on your feet after you leave your job. Okay. And again, this is your decision, but I've noticed there are certain traits that I employed, and I say I'm not really employable in that sense. I made a decision, and that's not really the right way to put it. The decision was made for me. I cannot work for other people in a big organization. After, as I said, with the PTSD, I literally will not work in a company. I did not go back into academia. My girlfriends were like, "Oh, you find a job at another college," and I was like, "Oh no, no." So you don't want to reach that burnout state like I did, because when you hit that state, you have less choices. You have less choices. Okay. You have less choices if you let yourself get run down. So really, I like to work with women before they're burnt out, because once you're burnt out, your executive function, your ability to see opportunities and to take risks and be creative goes down. So again, I experienced that. I got so burnt out that, like I said, I literally could teach yoga once a week. I was deeply, deeply depressed, and no job is worth that. No job is worth that sort of depletion. Yeah. I love this. I love this. Thank you for sharing that, Tiffany. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I was going to leave a year earlier, you guys, and these two friends, both of whom had health issues, said to me, "You cannot walk away from your job. You're going to get tenure. You must stay. Once you have tenure, you can just close your office door." And I've said this before. Who wants to work at a job, you guys, where you have to lock yourself in an office? Like, that's where I'm going to spend most of my life, is locked in an office, because the people who I work with are toxic, are aggressive, dominating, judgmental. That did not sit well with my spirit. I stayed one extra year and I became more deeply depressed, and I lost my energy, my joy. That's why I couldn't work after that. I was so burnt out. So what are some traits? You need to be creative. What do I mean by that? If you're going to leave your job, you need to be like, yeah, definitely. I'll put the link up here. If you leave a job, you're going to need to be creative. Maybe you do work at Walmart. Walmart is paying $20, $25 an hour or something crazy right now. So sometimes leaving a high pressure job for a lower pressure job temporarily Get yourself on your feet. A job at a cafe. Nobody's going to get pissed if you if you don't get the design on the cappuccino right. You guys know how they like struggle to get the pretty design, the foam. I just think that's always so ridiculous. But okay, they're working really hard on getting the foam right because the bosses tell them. It might be better to take a step down from a job that you can't sleep at night and go work at a cafe where you can start your writing career, where you can start your life coaching career, where you can do some creative work, but take a less stressful job. Okay? What do you guys think of that suggestion? That's one of my first suggestions is be open-minded as to how you will land on your feet. Be open-minded. I'm going to write this down because I may make other videos about this. Let me know if you'd like me to. Be open-minded about how you land on your feet. I'm just going to write about the how. Okay. So I'm not talking to people who have to have some high corporate job to feel good, because I think that's just a different type of person. I'm speaking to someone who is in a job, it could be a business career, especially academia as well, where you're just not happy. And you may want to start a business. You may want to do something else, right? So be open to how you land. Maybe you go for and I follow some other channels that talk more about this. Maybe you take a sabbatical for 6 months. If you've been working that hard, literally there's nothing wrong with taking a 3-month break, a 6-month break, and that's where I would really love to work with you to replenish yourself, start your meditation practice, get your self-care, your herbs, your sleep, basically heal. Okay. So you may want to take a simple job, just boring job. You have some money coming in, but you also don't have that stress on your mind. Or for some of you, it might be, okay, I'm able to afford a sabbatical. Maybe I can take a vacation. Maybe I can rent a cottage somewhere for a month just to like decompress. I say that because that was one of the things I ended up staying at a small cottage in the woods after I left my teaching job because I was that burnt out. And I didn't want to see people. I really just wanted to, I just wanted rest. Okay. So again, don't let it get that bad. I'm just putting up comments as I go. Aha. Yes. Even just do freelance. Now I know it's less like steady. I totally get that. But what we're trying to do, goddesses, if you are nearing burnout and you need to quit your job or you want to quit your job, you're fed up, you don't want to go out on in a bad way. You don't want to have a blow up with your boss. You don't want to, wait till you're really sick or they fire you. Again, if you're in a toxic job, you will either become ill or they will fire you claiming that you don't do your job well. Okay, I've seen that before, so I'm just putting up different comments. Yes. Oh, I'm enjoying my new non-clinical career. Beautiful. Oh, that's fabulous. I'm really, really happy for you. I also work with women who often are in like social work field, work in organizations, doing like social work is like what I would call it. Work that supports families, work that supports children. Very easy to get burnt out in those roles as well. Very, very easy to get burnt out. Yes. So I just want to thank, hang on, I'm going to take this down here. We're going to change it. So yeah, we have to start looking out for ourselves. We have to start, okay, and Tiffany says she's an independent contractor. Yes. So Tiffany, I'm gonna sell my programs. I have a program. Let me put that one up for people who want to be self-employed. It is for women. I say people. We're people, but it's for women from all backgrounds. It's a diverse group, and this is that program, the Money Mindset program. And actually, we're starting on the 16th, but you're still open to apply. It's by application only. And what it is we work on woo-woo stuff. We work on our mindset. We uplift ourselves. It's a small group, and we meet via Zoom, and I'm leading you. We always do some practices to uplift, like I said, lift our spirits. And then I basically can talk with you one on one. I've had women from, exotic dancer to college administrator in the same group. I love that. Teacher, another teacher was in that group. A woman who was starting her own um, online company, actually selling products, was in that group, in that particular cohort. It was a very interesting cohort, very, very broad. We had women in their 50s, and in the younger end, I think was like 28. It was like 28, 27, 28 up to 50s. Okay. So if you're an entrepreneur, or if you are interested in leaving your job and you want a side hustle, I can help you with YouTube. Certainly, I have a separate YouTube coaching. So the best way is just really get in touch with me, and let me just find one more time here. Yeah, get in touch with me. I would love to support you. This is what I do for a living. And let's see. Hope I got that right. And do a clarity and calm consult with me. So like what I ended up doing, I basically ended up eventually being on YouTube, sharing, teaching the meditation, teaching some yoga, because I am a yoga teacher, but I more wanted to work with the mind, like mind and spirit. So I definitely can help women who are like life coaches, who want to use YouTube as a way to get their message out and spread, their message. I have a client now who is going to coach women in midlife and finding love and strengthening their marriage. Kind of, she's narrowing down what she wants to do. And she's newly retired. And so she's going to be launching her coaching business. And she has coached informally. And so I'm working with her. And as I said, all these different types of women. One woman in the group, and again, I always maintain the privacy, was more working on manifesting a relationship. And so she was able to use what we did do, even though we were more focused on our work and our career. She was able to use it and actually ended up attracting a man who was someone she had known before. And last I heard from her, that was what she was working on. And that was new, to sort of restart that whole process. So Money Mindset Magic, a mastermind, I call it. So I call it 4M, Money Mindset Magic, a mastermind. It is about manifesting anything you desire. And that's really what I care about. I care about us as women doing it's not just what we want. What you want to do will be what spirit wants you to do, and there will be people who you can help, okay? Like my work, I want to help certain women, women who are high vibration, help, if you feel a little bit depressed. I've had women in my group who are coming out of depression, or they've had a medical issue. Maybe they've had surgery. They've had a medical issue they're overcoming, and that's fine. But I think that we'll really be happy when we're doing what we love, and when we're doing what I think we're here for a purpose. I know we're here for a purpose. And so you can also, on my site, I do readings if you're not clear on a direction. But right now, my main focus is my Money Mindset group and getting that started. We're starting in a few days. So if you're interested, do check that out. Are there any questions before I close? It sounds like several of you who are here have done a transition. I just want to say one thing about that, though, that sometimes we think as women, well, I left the toxic job. Be careful, because sometimes you can recreate it. If you don't really heal some of the issues and the dynamics that existed, you can end up recreating it. So even in a new position. Sorry, guys. So this is the the main website in the Flow of Magic. So if you'd like to just chat with me about how to transition out of your job, how to get your mental health and your emotional health back, then I can definitely help with that. So I'm going to look for questions. Put your question, put a Q. If it's a question, can you just put a Q first? And I'd love to just any questions about burnout, about how to know, or even ideas on when I did just do my last call recently, my clarity call, I gave this woman ideas about how she could transition. She had made the decision already, and I gave her some great ideas, and she's going to end up coaching with me. But I gave her some ideas on how she could fund her dreams. And she had very specific dreams. We talked about that in the call, and I gave her ideas on how she could get funding for that and how to frame what she wanted to do in such a way to get funding. So that was really, I really enjoy doing that because I do think that we are here to manifest what we desire. And we're here, we wouldn't be here if we weren't still learning and growing. Yeah. Yeah. It is the goal. Whoop, my light went off. Can you still see me? It's a little fuzzy. Let me put it back on. I think it's the goal, but it's also the way to the goal. Start doing what you love. Start doing what you love now, even in a small way. So yeah, any questions? Just put a Q before. I'd love to. I want to apply, but I'm currently stuck of what I want to do. Yeah, yes, Anna, I hear you. What do you do now, Sana? And I remember, yeah, you were here last week. It's good to see you. Good to see you again. Thank you for thank you for showing up. I appreciate that. So I think we always know, what do you love? What do you love? What are write a list of 5 things that you love to do, Sana. Do people come to you when they're having relationship troubles? Do people come to you when they're decorating? Do people come to you because your child does really well in school? And they're like, how, do you have an autistic child who people are like, wow, your child is thriving? Like, what do people come to you for? What do you enjoy? What gets you excited? What things could you talk about? What things do you read about without any pressure, without anybody telling you, Sana, oh, you should read about this, or da da da? What do you naturally love? That will be part of the key to what it is that you're here to do. Yes, so question. Hi, Angela. Yes. That's a great question. I would say it depends on if you are a morning or an evening person. I would say the morning. But for example, if you have kids and the morning is crazy, right? Kids running around trying to get clothes on, get the right shoes, then don't do mornings. You could do before you go to bed, before you're too sleepy. So Angela, and for anyone watching in the replay as well, when you're coming back to it, the best time for you to meditate is when you know you have a regular time, right? Now, I'm not a morning person, for example. I could meditate in the morning. I am self-employed, which is why I tout that, right? Being self-employed. I could meditate in the morning, but I generally don't. I generally meditate in the evening. It just feels better for me if you meditate in the evening. It tends to help you sleep better. So do you want to kind of support your sleep? Then do it in the evening. If you want to kind of clear your mind and not be stressed going into work, then maybe do it in the morning. So either one is absolutely fine. It just really depends on your lifestyle, your schedule, whether you have kids or not, or is there a partner that gets up real early and wakes you up anyway? You may as well get up out of the bed and meditate. Yeah, so it depends. So Angela, just see when in your day could you best fit in meditation? That would be what I would say. Yep, that's a great question. And it's a very common question too. It's like, well, when can I start this? I'm going to put up another comment from A. Sims. Yes, you have to be real clear. Like I said, for me, I would just, there's just no way I'm going to step into that again. you know, I wish I knew your first name. I'll just call you A. Sometimes friends and family will try to push you back into jobs. Be careful of that because they may not understand how difficult, how painful it was for you, right? Our family just looks at the money. Our family is like, well, it paid your rent, and you need to be realistic and da da da. So just be aware. Sometimes family will push us back into a bad situation, not because they want us to be in a bad situation, but because they don't understand how toxic the job is for you. Okay? Let me know. I know you know what I'm saying. So just it sounds like you've made up your mind and you're very clear, you're very aligned, so you're not going to get sucked back in, because it can happen. A woman quits a job, you're like, okay, this job is better, and you start experiencing it again, which is why when we get into our energy field, when I talk about the chakras, why I always give this example. Why is it that some women always date abusive men, right? Like they can't find one that's not abusive, right? It's there's some alignment with them, with this individual, with this type of man or woman, this partner. They just end up with abuse. So we want to really clear that from ourselves, so that we don't just relive that. We don't want to relive that toxic situation. So any more questions? I'll take one or two more. Let's see. I love to draw. Oh, beautiful. And make people laugh. Okay. Yes. Yes. That can happen in academia too, Sana. We can have teachers as a teacher, I know sometimes teachers can be so harsh or judgmental that they damage the student. That you know, that young person is just damaged, where they don't maybe do what they could have done because they hear the voice of the professor or the teacher in their head. Oh, that's not very good, that's not good enough, blah blah blah. So Sana, that sounds like something, yeah, you definitely want to work through. um Book a call with me. It's in the chat. If you just scroll through, it's vivasme.com. You can book a free call. You could see if I could help you, if you would like to work with me. And again, I call it clarity and calm. I help you in that 30-minute call. It's a free call. I help you get clearer, and also you're going to feel calmer because I always do a meditation. So you will definitely get something out of it. It is for folks who are interested in working with me. You want to know more, to just be able to help you, and that is what I can offer. Let's see. hmm hmm I get burnt out easily due to take on a big project. Are you saying if you take on a big project, you tend to get burned out? So there may be some nutritional or other issues there. Yeah. And this is what I work with clients with. Like it's multifactorial. I think I like that word. Somebody else used it. I'm like, oh, I like that. Right. So some of us, when you're getting burnt out, your nutrition starts to go down. For example, when I was getting burnt out at teaching, my diet started to get not as good. Remember, I had the high cholesterol, right? I was starting to get a little more junk food. I would eat out more. I was stressed and I was so busy. So I would treat myself, right? And so I ended up eating a lot of like just heavier food that wasn't my natural kind of my diet. Cholesterol started to spike. So there are many, many factors. Yes, there are many factors. I need both. No kids yet. Angela may be talking to somebody else, which is fine in the chat. Good. Let's see. Many people come to me to vent and for advice. Book a call, Jade. I don't know. I mean, do you do tarot? Are you a Reiki? Have you studied Reiki? Are you a massage therapist? That could go in many different directions. People will come to you to vent. Okay, we don't want to make that your profession, right? Unless you social worker, therapist. But yeah, that would be a good conversation for us to have. And if I were coaching you, we would try to figure out what your gifts are, what your strengths are, obviously, because I'm sure you have many strengths. Is it speaking with people? Is it listening to them and helping them figure out solutions to their problems? Is it like massage therapy? Is it more hands-on? Is it art therapy? So like if maybe you have some sort of like singing, like talent with singing, and it's like maybe vocal, like coaching or vocal therapy, or yeah. So there are many, many different, but it definitely sounds like um, you have a gift where people want to come to you, where they feel like your heart chakra, they feel that you're sympathetic. Um, so that's really good, and that could be many, many professions. If you're young, then I would just say try different things. Try, see what you like. Now, if you're in your 50s and 40s, I think then that's when it's important to, and I really mean this, like, I feel, if you get to your mid 40s and 50s and you are changing careers, you're quitting your job, you're feeling burnt out, I think it's a more serious issue. Obviously, if you're 25 and you quit your Walmart job, I'm sorry, it's not a big issue in the same way as someone who's invested maybe decades and is now quitting and may have a mortgage, um, has kids. So I'm not saying it's not serious, but it is a bigger deal when someone is in their 30s, 40s, 50s and is needs to leave a toxic job, because their responsibilities are going to be greater. And when you're young, you'll just get another job or start a side hustle, or you could move back with the parents. There are many countries, you guys, where it's fine to move back with your parents. The US is one of them, increasingly, right? As things, economically get tight. So yeah, yeah. 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 I mean, at 28, oh, Jade, I think you're about to hit your Saturn return. Look that up, Jade, your Saturn return. And so it is a really, yes, it's a time when typically we're like, it's like your head spins around and you're like, okay, wait, I thought I was into beauty and makeup and wanted to be a makeup artist, but now, no, I think I want to work with inner city kids and teach literacy. Okay, so check, Google Saturn return, because you are in that, and so you're about to step into it. Yeah, Angela, I would love to talk with you. The link is in the chat. Natasha, hi Natasha. The link is in the chat. It's vivasme.com. And if you just scroll up in the chat here, let me see if I can copy it. Guys, I'm not good with some technology. There it is. Just do viv.as.me and it'll pop up. I use an app called Acuity, and like my clients, if they're sort of setting things up, I recommend Acuity to them very, very much. Okay, one last question. Thank you, Angela, for that question about meditation and the best time. Sana, it sounds like you're a creative person. It sounds like there's some creativity, but I think your mindset needs work. And so that is where I would start with you, is working with your mindset so you start to really see the possibilities. So the main trait I mentioned, if you quit your job, you're feeling burnt out, it's a toxic environment, you're going to need to think creatively. You're going to need to be open-minded about how you manage. That is the first and biggest tip I can give you if you are going to leave a job. You have to be creative about how you will earn your money and how you will live your life thereafter. Okay, and that's where I can really help, especially if you want to start a business or a side hustle. I hesitated at business because I was going to say small business. If you want to start like a lifestyle business, something manageable. I'm not the coach for you if you want to like open a boutique or something. I don't actually think that brick and mortar businesses are smart right now, unless you have a large amount of cash and I think that they're risky. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Brick and mortar, businesses are risky right now. I'm talking about something you could do online, teaching, coaching, tutoring, anything like that, graphic design, website design, and there are a huge amount of things you can do online now. I really I think people still don't know that, especially people in their 40s and 50s. I get, like, when I tell people I'm a YouTuber, not that like that's that's how I make most of my money or anything. It's not, right? It's like as a YouTuber. I'm not a gamer, people. I'm not gaming. I'm not, I don't know, PewDiePie. I just mentioned PewDiePie because I think he makes $7 million a year or something ridiculous. Um, and he's a gamer and a personality. But, you know, if I mention to people that I'm a YouTuber, I love saying that because they're like, really? It just gets a nice laugh from people. And not a laugh, but they're like, huh, I've never met anybody who's a YouTuber. So, yeah, Angela, I would love to chat with you. What is your idea? What is your lifestyle business? And I love that phrase, lifestyle business. Welcome if you're just joining. Some folks come and go. Because I have some YouTubers that I like as well. And there's some that stream for 2 hours and 3 hours. I'm not hungry, so I'm okay. I would like to get some water. I was talking last time about this one dude. He'll get up and go to the bathroom. He's like, oh, I gotta go. And then you just see like, and he's very quick. He comes back in like 2 minutes and he's like, oh, okay. And he keeps going and he goes for like 3 hours. I am not going to go for 3 hours. If I have to go to the bathroom, I will end the stream. So, but I'll take one more question. And Angela, yeah, what is your, what would you love to do? And yeah, and before I go, share, what is your dream? What is it that, I'm gonna make a big assumption that most of the women who have passed through this stream do not love their jobs. What would you love to do? What would you love to do if you could do anything in the world? What would make you happy? What would bring you joy? I'd love to know that because I want to end on a positive note and that our energy is uplifted. So for me, and tell me what you're looking forward to. Okay, so Angela shares. So check out this website, Money Mindset Magic, if you're interested in group coaching for manifesting your business, manifesting more money in your business or your side hustle. Okay, Money Mindset Magic. I'm going to put a few more comments up. So let's see. Angela says that she's passionate about health and wellness. That would be a beautiful channel to start, Angela. Health and wellness, sustainable living, like they all go together. Okay. So it's not like you're telling me, oh, I'm into, I don't know, I'm into interior design and childcare, like, or like autistic children and interior design, like those don't go together. But Angela, the health, wellness, sustainable living, cooking, all of that could be wrapped into, yes, it's a lifestyle brand. Angela, do you have a blog already? Did you already just have a blog going? And let's see. Okay. Actually feel free. What is your Instagram handle, Angela? I'll check it out. You can put it in here. I don't mind that. As long as somebody just doesn't pop in, put something and then just leave. So Angela, you've been here in the chat. Share what your Instagram is. If you could do the whole thing, I'd actually really like that. I'm not sure YouTube will let her. And those of you who are watching, if you have a YouTube channel, you can go ahead and pop it in. I'd like to see. So yeah, to schedule a free call, it's Viv as me. Scroll up in the chat and you'll see the link. It's very, very simple. Viv, if you just do viv.as.me. Okay. Okay. And Angela, you know what? I'll just recommend to you right now, don't feel like you have to get the blog going and then do like YouTube. What I would do is do them concurrently, because your videos, the wonderful videos you're going to make, you put them on the blog. So don't feel like, oh my God, I've got a blog for a year and then I have to get this amount of visitors and then do it all together, Angela. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, drop in your Instagram handle. I'd love to. And then I'm going to put up something from Tiffany. From rental properties. Okay. There is a woman I was watching on another channel. I think she was on Sheeta's on the Loose. You might want to check out Sheeta's. If you do Sheeta's on the Loose. Sheeta's on the Loose. She is an expat. She's moved to Mexico City, of all places, and she loves it. There are many Americans who live very well in Mexico. Um, Not all of Mexico is, rolling in crime, apparently, the way that we think. Um, but um, a Cheetah's channel, Tiffany, she interviewed a woman who bought a very like rundown house. I want to say for like $80,000. It was cheap for a house. It was like she fixed it up herself. She got a handyman and she fixed it up, but it's by a lake, and it's now a vacation thing on Airbnb. She just lives off of that. And actually, I think she might have been a stewardess too. Like she had a job, but she did this, built this up, and now she could just live off of that. So, Tiffany, just throwing that out there to you, right? And that's what I help women with, like the ideation. So, simply from fixing up a small home, not a full, it's just like a cottage, she said. She decorated it really cute. She put it on Airbnb, and I want to say she makes, I think she said 3,000 a month in addition to having her job, so she can kind of transition out of her job. So there are many, many ways. Yeah. So Tiffany, yeah. So you've seen that. That is a possibility. Absolutely. Hi, Shirts by Dawn. Shirts by Dawn. Hi. So yeah, that is absolutely a possibility. You just have to, you know, oh, thanks, Angela. Okay, yeah. You have to stay open. If you leave a job, you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You can't wait for the boss to tell you what to do. That mindset, that employee mindset, maybe I'll do a whole video on that. That employee mindset can keep us imprisoned. You are no longer an employee. Think you're an entrepreneur for yourself. You're your own company. As I think Jay-Z famously said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Like, so you have to see yourself as you're the CEO of yourself, right? You are the employee, you're the CEO, you're the idea person, you're the creative director. It's a lot of hats. It's not for everybody, but there's a lot of people, saying leave your job, right? Leave your job. Oh, thank you. Oh, I like that. Shorts by Dawn. So that must be a new channel. Do you only do shorts, Dawn? Do you only do videos under 60 seconds? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious about that. With the mandates, I'm definitely ready to cut ties. Hey, Sonia. Mm-hmm. 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 I'm just putting up all the ones I find as I'm going up. Yep, she is on the loose. Mm-hmm. Yes, rental properties. Mm-hmm. Just start with one. Like, just start. Just start. Like I said, I think she said the house was $60,000, you guys. It needed a new roof. But she was able to get people who worked fairly cheaply. And it was a little house. It wasn't like she bought some, you have to be strategic. So it's cute. It's like a little weekend lakeside cottage, right? If you're going to lakeside cottage, it doesn't have to be fancy. You just want it to be cute. She decorated it really sweet. She said she put out little, like little rafts and things you'd want to play at the lake in. So she really thought of what her Airbnb guests would want, right? And nice theme to the whole little cottage. And she is doing really well, and that is something we can do. You may be able to get a loan to buy the house to fix up for the Airbnb, but it's about being open-minded and realizing that I really do think we can create what we desire. We may have to be flexible, right? Like sometimes you think I'm going to go this way and spirit's like, no, go that way, right? And you get blocked. You can't see my hands. You get blocked. And then you got to go over here. So there is always a way, but we have to really be able to hear the guidance that we're receiving. And again, that's a big part of my work, is with teaching meditation, with getting women to really tune into the feminine aspect where they listen to their own inner truth, and where they act from it without fear, and without preconceptions of how they should be, who they should be, how much money they need. Maybe you don't need as much money as you think you do to live a happy life, right? To live a happy life. Yeah. So Angela, I look forward to chatting with you and anyone else about how to let go of the job and really more focus on making that transition. I'm all about making the transition. Oh, and before I go, you guys, I want to show you this book I'm reading. I don't do this very much, but it's really, really interesting. It's called The Personal Librarian. Have you guys heard of it? Hold on. I'm dyslexic, so I can't move the right way. Here we go. What it is, these are the authors. Oops, hold on. Okay, it's really interesting. It's interesting to me because of my art background, but this woman, she basically had to. Her mother made a decision for them. The mother was worried about race relations in the U.S. at that time, very, very much, and they were very, very light complexioned, and so the mother, really out of fear, she said, she thought things were going to get worse, and they were already bad. I would say this was the 20s, maybe. So basically, she just put on the census that we're white. Okay, so they're very light complexion, and her daughter, became the personal librarian for J.P. Morgan. Okay, you've heard of like J.P. Morgan Bank, right? So it's fascinating because she was basically forced to live her life. Even though she's Black, she was forced to pretend she was white, and because she would literally not have been able to have this job. But her job, just to give you an idea, it would be the equivalent of someone running like the Metropolitan Museum of Art or something, because the JP Morgan was so rich that he could buy the first printed Bible, like the Gutenberg Bible. He could buy. He had so much money, and she was the one who he hired her, but she was basically living this lie in order so that she could have this life and she could make more money. So as a Black woman, they would have not in that time hired her to run this library for this multi-millionaire, which in today's dollars, he would have probably been a billionaire, for JP Morgan. And it's fascinating. She's traveling to England, and she's even finding in England, she feels less stressed. And the reason she's able to pass is that her mother brilliantly said, well, we're going to change our name to Da Costa. So she claims she has Portuguese heritage, which explains why she's a little bit tan. But I'm laughing or smiling about it, but it's really scary because she could have potentially she wasn't in the South, she wouldn't have been killed, but she would have lost her job, she would have been disgraced, and she could have potentially been probably imprisoned, okay, for this. And she's brilliant, and he's very happy with her, and she's just, she's sort of at the top of this world, but has to keep this secret. And so it's really, really fascinating. So check it out. It's getting really reviewed well. The Personal Librarian. Like I said, I don't usually mention books, and I rarely read fiction, but I had to mention that to you. I think many of you would find it fascinating if you're into art, if you're into sort of kind of American history and sort of, it just touches on so many areas. And I'm really, really enjoying it. And it's this, she actually goes to a party. I'm going to give part of it away. So if you think you're going to read it, she goes to a party, very, very wealthy, the Vanderbilts, the Whitneys, the Morgans, and there is a maid who is Black, who is a Black woman. And her mother had warned her, I know this is off topic, but it's really, really good. Her mother had warned her to make eye contact, but then look away. And for some reason, she held eye contact with this woman, and she realizes that this woman knows she's Black. So you can imagine she's literally like her life kind of depends on this. I mean, it's almost like the stories where, which are also fascinating, of like Jewish people who hid during the Nazi era in plain sight. I think there is a book about one woman who was, in a home as the maid of Nazis who would have sent her to be killed. And she's Jewish. And she's hiding, right? She's able to her appearance. They don't think she's Jewish. So it's just really fascinating. So she makes eye contact with this maid, and she's terrified because she doesn't know if the maid is going to just basically immediately tell someone that is a Black woman, right? Do you guys know that? And she said the woman looked at her, and they're looking at each other, and she just smiled. The maid smiled at her, and then she offered her the drink because she was going around with the tray, and then she just went on about her business. So can you imagine, you guys? I just had to share that with you. So she's like terrified, but the maid, she interpreted it as the maid was like, huh, okay. Like I see, the maid understood, like you're doing what you have to do, and did not, at least in the story. Now they fictionalized it. At least in the story, didn't like run and go tell people she's black. Oh my God. So it's a really, really good book. I recommend it. Yeah, wait, screenshot, did you take it? Shorts by, screenshots. Screenshot, thanks. Okay, don't understand it. But yeah, check out this book. I recommended it to my friend. I think anyone of any background who's interested in a woman's story, in race, in culture, in America of that time, in that Gilded Age, would find this very, very interesting. So The Personal Librarian, it's getting reviewed very, very highly. So check it out. Check it out and see what you think. I'd love to know. Thank you, Natasha. You're very, very sweet. Thank you for that comment. Agreed, Sanaya. Yes. Have your top 3 countries. Yes. Yes. There are many wonderful places to live in the world, and many with a lower cost of living also, which is really key, is part of our stress, right? Is that hustle to make enough money to simply be able to live. So Angela, I definitely get that. Oh, let me see. Okay, Shorts, she's just explaining. About Earth chakra. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm getting like a lot of people who are into, it's like from video games. They're coming into chakras. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fascinating book because she's like hiding in plain sight. And there's something like, it's like being a spy, it's that level of danger. In the South or in certain states, if this happened, the Black person, if they were found out, had happened cases where they were killed. And again, the mother did this because she is like, they were struggling so bad. They were very highly educated, but they were struggling. The pay, of course, was less. There were opportunities they simply couldn't have. And so she just went on the census one day and they asked her, well, what race are you? And she's like, she just put white, and she's very, very light complexion. So she was able to do that. But it's a fascinating story. It's a fascinating story. I highly recommend it. Anyway, going to head out now. And I hope some of this was helpful to you in terms of the burnout, in terms of job stress. And it was great to see you. And I put out videos Thursday. The chakra course is enrolling as folks are saying goodbye, but check that out because a lot of times it is our subtle energy that, as my cat is scratching something, it's our subtle energy that is off. That is things to do with like our reproductive health, our confidence, the 3rd chakra, our ability to attract love, right? The heart chakra, our ability to express ourselves and our creativity, the throat chakra, our intuition, the 3rd eye chakra. So if you want to learn way more about that, check out my chakra course. It's on this website, intheflowofmagic.com. And you'll also be live with me. And it's very different than this. You really get, it's not public on YouTube. You can ask your questions. And you can go through the course at your own pace, but then you have the live sessions with me. So you have 4 live sessions with me, and we go through 2 chakras at a time. And it's a wonderful course for women, especially who want to heal their energy system. So do check that out as well. So those are like the main things that I'm doing. I'm going to keep you up to date on that and share about that. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, great. Great, great, great. Okay. Tiffany, yes. Have a great week. Bye. Have a beautiful week. Do not get stressed. Remember, it's not worth it. The money is not worth it. It's not worth your health and your peace of mind. Okay? No matter what anybody tells you, just like breathe and let it go and just go back to peace. Go back to I'm at peace and I'm here for a reason. And that job is not it. In fact, maybe the job is your teacher, right? The job is your teacher.